Hello. What I'd like to introduce to you is a hardware backup for the office. We currently have backups uh, of the email, anytime calendar, and some users' files are actually on the server too. They're backed up every night. But we don't have an image of what we would call a disaster recovery. A few weeks back, we went through somewhat of a disaster to whereas I had to come out to the office and actually reinstall the operating system from the bottom up. That include patches and software updates and reinstall the application for the mail server. I had to again lock down the firewalls and allow certain ports open. The list goes on and on. But we're looking at a 6 to 8 hour restoration of the mail server even before I could actually bring in any of the mail and everything off of the backup, the email that we had backed up, and not to mention anytime calendar and things of that nature. So we really don't have what would be considered a hardware backup. This right here, listed, it's called Oracle VM VirtualBox, but I call it vBox. This vBox right here allows me to create servers and operating systems in a little package, so to speak. I can put 4 or 5 servers on here if I really cared to. In this instance, I got a support desk which is powered off, and I got the mail server that's powered off. Now, the biggest advantage to this right here is that I can install vBox on 2 different computers. For instance, over on my right hand side that you can't see, on the laptop with Windows 7, I have vBox on it, and I have this exact same server on that vBox. And to show you how I actually have it, this is the mail server, and I went to it on the laptop. So this MX1 is actually the laptop on my right hand side. I'm going to log in to this one, and it is a laptop, so it'll be a little bit slower, but in a lot of ways that's kind of good too, because even out there at the office, if the website becomes slow or hanging or anything like that, there may be a software glitch that I could fix. But in the middle of the day, it's kind of difficult to turn the mail server off or take it offline for a little bit so that I could fix it. This vBox will give me that option. In a moment, I'll show you how that works. Now here we got 3 email messages in Mr. Johnson's. Then I'm going to log into Mr. Fuller's, and these are demo accounts, so it's not your actual email box by any stretch. And there's 3 messages in here. Now I'm going to log out, and then I'm going to disable the laptop and then try to get to this right here, which you know as well as I do it's not going to happen. Alright, now I'm going to disable the laptop over here. Alright, so now the laptop is disabled. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, the mail server's offline. It could be anything. It could be hardware, it could be memory, it could be a bad application, it could be the web server. The list goes on and on, but we don't know what it is yet until I come to the office, because I can no longer access the computer. So I'm going to start this on my computer, and I have a Windows 10 machine here. But the scenario would be, I would have vBox installed on the mail server, and I'd have vBox installed on the medical server, Brian's old machine down on the floor. And in essence, The mail server would be the hardware backup for the medical server, and the medical server would be the hardware backup for the mail server. So here it is. It's loading up the operating system, Windows Server 2008, and I actually have the mail server and everything installed on this one too. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch the browser, and this is just a quirk in nature. For some reason or another, when I first go to the web server after I restart the computer, it just kind of hangs, because I think what it is Firefox is kind of remembering that I couldn't get to it the first time, so I always do it a second time like this, and it usually just lights right up. So we'll see. Come on, baby. Maybe we should hang it again. Let me try it one more time. See what the. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Now, from completely offline to back online in minutes, and we're going to log into Mr. Johnson's, and we'll see that the mail server actually has the backup from the night before, because it no longer has all 3 messages in there. So we're missing today's messages. Now that's going to hold true in both Mr. Johnson and Mr. Fuller's case. Now what I do at this point is I get the server back online like you see it right here, and in the meantime I go to the server and I pull out today's data that was on there, and while y'all are working and still online and everything, I'll just take and push that new data over to this server right here, and we're back online. Just that simple. There's no more worry about it. And today I got a phone call about the spool hanging. Now there is an update on Smarter Mail for that update, but I certainly can't bring the server down now to install that update, because Friday nights are bad nights to do it, Saturday night's a bad night to do it, Sunday is when I do it. And the biggest reason why I do all my work on Sunday night around 10 p.m. is because come Monday morning, if things don't work out, I can run out there and fix it before the office gets up and running really fast. But in this kind of scenario with the vBox manager, I can actually switch servers and actually see if I can do the update on the off server and see if there's any repercussions on that off server, the server that's not online, and see if there's any problems with the patch, because I've even downloaded updates from Microsoft and they cause havoc, for the Windows update and everything. So having 2 servers that I can actually work with, I can try out the updates and fix the patch, or if the mail server is getting a little bit slow or the software becomes buggy, I can test the resolution on the opposite server without worrying about taking the big main mail server offline. So I think that's going to be a good thing to have. This can be anything. Let's see, here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down. I'm going to show you one more thing and then I'll end this video. In the event that this virtual box right here is a little bit slow, needs more memory or bigger hard drive, or needs more processing power, I can do that within this application. You just go here, go to settings, and I go to system, and I can roll this thing on up to 4 gigabytes of memory. So I just gave this virtual box an upgrade in memory. I can do the same thing with processors. I can add more processors to it. The mail server itself has 16 processors. uh, built into it. So I've got a lot of room to expand there. And as far as the memory on the mail server, I have over 32 gigabytes of memory there too. So I can put a vast amount of servers on here. I don't plan on doing it by any stretch of the imagination, but I have enough room to grow. When it comes to storage, there's the storage right there, and I got 1.51 terabits of space on there. There may be a time in a couple of years that 1.5 terabits isn't enough. Well, I can't do it within this application, but I have the option to actually expand that drive to 2 terabits, 3 terabits, 4 terabits. As long as I have enough room on the main computer, there's nothing I can't do. So anyhow, if you have any questions or anything, please call me. You have my phone number. I just don't want to put it out there right now. Thanks a lot, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Fuller. Have a good week. Bye-bye.